exactly right. And looking back in the past, drivers, you would see old photos, moving footage. Some drivers in yesteryear would just go in with a t-shirt, life jacket, maybe a pair of shorts. What's the proper attire to wear for a driver out here in vintage?
Well, right now it's the same thing as with the driver. We have to have a life jacket, driving suit. We prefer them to have driving gloves as well as shoes. And that's strictly for safety protection. Last year we had a man who was late. His fire got fired. He got burned. He got he also is well familiar with lane one. We like to put the Buccaneer in lane one because he can handle the water better than one of the other vintage boats.
As they come to the line, you can hear Doug Shelton in the background. Looks like we'll have 6 answer the call here. It's the vintage class sponsored by the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum. And Don, we're off and running. And that Buccaneer boat, about what era was that built in and raced in?
It was back in the 70s.
Back in the 70s, as Mr. Leeds puts it on the hook here, and unusual to see a cab over there in lane number 1, but what's this wicked agitator doing? He's handling it well.
He handles the boat real well. It's on well. Cities out there, so I'm sure Ron is happy to see so many of his boats out there.
That has to be neat to Ron. And what about you, Don, when you see the pieces you built in racing? It has to be a little emotional to see him back out on the water.
Yes, it's encouraging too, and I know Ron is probably the same way. I have not seen Jake Carson here today, but he was very educated. So basically, us 3 major builders in the Northwest that were here.
Well, that brings back some memories. Carlson and some unlimited Ron Jones, of course, and you only had one unlimited Hallmark boat.
21 days.
Now, I thought it was 28, but you corrected me this morning. You said it was 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wednesday to Wednesday.
And that was when Blake Barterson disintegrated the Hallmark boats from Madison, Indiana, and Don Kelson and the team in 21 days got them back out on the water and the Unlimited. So we mentioned Fred Wickens. What was his theory behind these long, sleek design boats? I think they always look so cool.
Yes, I really don't know. I met Fred a few times, but I never discussed with him on why he designed the boat the way he did. He's been very successful. His boats are awfully popular, the ones that are still around. And
as we work back into turn 1, and Don, there's that Camber Jones, the 74 is actually leading. That's drawing a hoop and a holler down below here. And I want to mention the Annie's Dodge. It's actually running in the final position right now, the boat on the outside. And what little I know about it, a position owned it in Spokane, Washington. job practice, he could not use power tools. How in the world did he build this thing?
Jigsaw, hand drill, hand screwdrivers, any little power tool. He used small power tools, but nothing, no bandsaws, no joiners, no planers. He'd have somebody machine up the wood for him, and then he'd take the log from there, and the rest of that.
Now on that Danny Dodge, what's the boat length on this one approximately? And about how long would it take to do something like that, buddy?
That's what
Yeah, but you had the planer and everything out on it. We wanted to mention that Avenger. I always love the paint job on that boat. It reminds me so much of that twin Chrysler Pride of Paint back in the late 60s.
Oh, yes. When he came to pick up the boat, he's got the trailer all finished already. And it was bright yellow with blue metal flake on it. On the trailer.
And by the way, you were in Wheeling, West Virginia last weekend for the vintage event in Wheeling. Not only were you in attendance, but you put the life jacket and helmet on as well.
Yes, I was fortunate to drive one of my old models that I built 35 years ago. The young man, he wanted to see what the boat looked like. He drew it all out, but never seen it all done. So after quite a coherence of the day, I finally agreed to take it out Sunday morning.
Well, you were well known for boat building. Did you ever drive in competition?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I drove the 782 Division 2, and I set the world record down there at, where was that? Black Lake? No. Down in Yellow. Lakes. Yeah, I can't remember.
Lawrence?
Well, that brings back memories.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
divisions a 7-liter.
Well, no, just the J.
Okay, just the J boat. Well, Don, I appreciate you visiting with us this weekend, representing APBA. I met Jim Olson yesterday, but my trip is complete meeting the legendary Don Kelson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. And Brad, there's a wealth of knowledge right there. One of the masterminds of boat building in the Northwest. They don't come any better than Don Kelson.
No, they don't. One of the super individuals around here, too, and we appreciate Don taking the time to come up there and talk to us. I'm right down here in the pit area where they're bringing our vintage boats back in. We're going to try and get members here of a Annabelle S team that was out there running without the cowling. Running it ugly is what they like to call it, and there's a reason behind it, and I'm going to let them explain it to you. So I'll come right back to you in just a minute, Jeff, with kind of a fun story down here.
Oh, sure. We want to get that, Brad, and appreciate your hard work down there working on that. Up next will be our